The Arizona Wildcats have been on an incredible rise as of lately. You could possibly say that they are the hottest team in the country. In the last couple years, they have really struggled, and they haven't even made a bowl game since 2017 when they went 7-6. But in this video, I wanted to talk about how the Arizona Wildcats got to where they are today, being 9-3 and ranked in the top 15, playing Oklahoma in the Alamo Bowl to end the season, and possibly finishing with their first 10-win season since 2014. But before I get into this video, let me remind you to like the video and subscribe to the channel, and also turn on notifications so you never miss an upload, because we post daily college football videos. We recently just hit 500 subs on the channel, and we are on the road to hitting 1,000. So thanks for all the support you guys leave on the channel, because it wouldn't be possible without the fans. But anyways, without further ado, let's get into the video. Now let's start by looking at where this team was just 2 years ago. And believe it or not, they had one win in 2021. And they also lost to Northern Arizona, which is an FCS school, by the way. And their only win was a 10-3 win against California, so that's not all that impressive. So they went 1-11 in 2021, and it was a record-breaking low for them, not to mention the 2020 season that they went 0-5. So they were on a miserable losing streak, so that makes the rise that they had even more impressive. And the fans knew that there needed to be a change made, and there definitely has to be something different with this team, because they are now with a 9-3 record, and they have a very bright future. Everybody on that team knew that there was a problem, but the rise that they have made has been incredible. And what did they do? They obviously had no choice but to attack the problem when they were down and had a 1-11 season. But after they signed head coach Jedd Fisch, we seen a very different team. And Jedd Fisch signed an extension that will go from December 2022 through 2027. So this team has a new head coach, but they also have a new set of players. But last year, we definitely seen some improvement from this team after finishing 5-7 on the season in Jedd Fisch's first year. Coming into the 2023 season, we didn't expect a huge jump from this team. We were thinking maybe they'd make a bowl game, and that honestly seemed pretty realistic. And after starting the season 3-3 and losing to a pretty average Mississippi State team, we didn't expect a great season out of them. But this team turned everything around, winning 6 in a row, including wins against teams like Oregon State, Utah, and UCLA, and this team has really shown a lot of improvement throughout the year. And if you want to talk about a guy who isn't talked about enough, that really plays a huge role on the rise on this team, you have to talk about freshman quarterback Noah Fajita. He didn't start until the game against Washington, and his first 2 starts were back-to-back losses against Washington and USC. So it wasn't an easy start for Noah Fajita, playing 2 top 10 teams at the time who were near the top of the Pac-12. And honestly, Arizona very well could have beat USC, and if they played today, that game could be very lopsided in Arizona's favor. And Washington should also be lucky that they dodged this Arizona team when they were peaking, because we may have missed a spectacular game. And I know the game was close, but Washington definitely was in control of that game for the most part. It was just an underwhelming performance, and it led to Washington only winning by 7. But Washington, the team that is now ranked 2nd in the country, played Arizona before Arizona really found their stride. And you have to believe, maybe the Washington Huskies dodged a bullet and dodged a team that could have spoiled their playoff hopes. And I know ultimately they did play, but it was earlier in the season, so it just did not feel the same. But Noah Fajita put up crazy numbers this year and really turned it around for this team, throwing for 300 yards in 3 different games, and recently throwing for 527 yards against in-state rival Arizona State. Noah Fajita is a very efficient quarterback too, with a completion percentage of 73.6 on the year, along with the passing yards he's had. And what makes this even crazier is that he's doing this only as a freshman, and he's doing stuff like that. Does this kid speak potential? And if he doesn't speak potential, then what in the world does this guy speak? Because let me tell you, that Noah Fajita can really play, and he's very underappreciated. What else could an Arizona team in rebuild mode ask for when they have a quarterback like Noah Fajita? Noah Fajita has also only thrown 5 interceptions on the year. He is 6th in the country in QBR rating, and he can really do it all. And he's only a freshman. And going forward with this Arizona team moving into the Big 12, their competition may get easier, because the Pac-12 was a pretty tough conference in 2023. Some people may argue that it was the deepest conference in 2023. And next year, this Arizona team may be the favorite to win the Big 12. And possibly, they will make the first ever 12-team playoff. And I look forward to seeing them match up with Utah again. But also, I look forward to the matchups with UCF, TCU, and Kansas State. And also, don't forget about the hype train of Colorado. I doubt they will be a playoff contender, but they could be dangerous. We honestly don't know. I mean, look at what Deion did at Jackson State. And also, let's not forget that Colorado has talent on the team. They just need the big boys up front, on the defense and on the offensive side. Then maybe they would be a legit contender. And don't disregard this Colorado team. Deion is a big name, and he draws in the big names. He just recruited a 5-star lineman, the #1 offensive tackle in the country, and they are building towards something bigger, whether you like to admit it or not. The Big 12 Conference will be interesting to me, because we already have the new teams like UCF, Houston, and Cincinnati. But now you got teams like Arizona and Colorado who you could say have bright futures. And then you got Arizona State with possibly making a name out of themselves within the next couple years. And you also got Utah returning star quarterback Cam Rising, who a lot of people may forget even exist. But ultimately Cam Rising was injured all year. The Big 12 is really open, and I see a lot of teams with bright futures in this conference. And maybe some teams that can make a name out of themselves in the playoffs, even if they aren't in the new Super Big 10 or the Super SEC. But let's get off the conference realignment and get back to talking about Noah Fajita. And let me tell you, imagine if Noah Fajita was starting all 12 games this year. Would this team be a legit playoff contender? Because they really do have games where they look like one of the best teams in the country, and they're only going to get better. The future looks really bright for this Arizona team. But they also have a sophomore running back who has ran for 851 yards. So yeah, they have Noah Fajita as the young leader for that team, but a quarterback cannot carry a team by itself. Every elite quarterback doesn't become elite without a team around him. And let's be real, that Arizona offense is loaded with young talent. And Noah Fajita has guys that can help him going forward. With guys like running back Jonah Coleman, who I was just talking about, and he's ran for over 800 yards. But also receiver McMillan as the team's leading receiver. And McMillan is also only a sophomore. You also got a freshman receiver like Kevin Green Jr. And although he hasn't seen the field much, we will definitely see him more next year. But their #1 receiver, their #1 running back, and their #1 quarterback are all freshmen or sophomores. So this team has everything you need in an offense going forward, including their offensive line being full of young guys that can really make it step up. But let's talk about the defense. And although the defense does have a fair share of weaknesses, we've seen a massive improvement throughout the year, and also from where they were the last year. And they also have a young guy who is going to be a beast going forward, if he already isn't. I'm talking about linebacker Jacob Manu, who is only a sophomore, but he is the team's leading tackler with 97 on the year. And he also has 6.5 sacks on the year, which may not be the first on the team, but that's because the leading sack leader on the team is senior Taylor Upshaw with 8.5 sacks. And he's also a linebacker, so the linebacker talent is definitely there. 3 of their guys who have made plays intercepting the ball are also sophomores. So I could go on and on about how much young depth that this team has. And this year they still managed to finish 9-3 with a lot of young starters on the team. And I know this may be pushing it, but is this team a legit contender in the 12-team playoff? How dangerous can this team possibly be? Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. There's no denying that this Arizona team is loaded with a lot of talent. They wouldn't be 9-3 if it wasn't for all the talent. And I do believe this is the hottest team in the country as of lately. And I know there's been some other teams who have been super impressive, like Missouri and James Madison, but nobody has really done what this Arizona team has done, basically digging them out of a hole that was 20 feet underground. And tell me another team that was 1-11 just 2 years ago, that is now 9-3 and playing the way this Arizona team has been playing. There's probably none at the FBS level right now. I'm going to be rooting for Arizona to beat Oklahoma and get their first 10-win season since 2014. And I think it would be awesome to see an Arizona win. And it's a game against Oklahoma, another team that has had a pretty impressive rise from where they were last season. I believe both of these teams were actually 5-7 last year, so that's pretty interesting. So this should be an awesome game, even if Oklahoma doesn't have their star quarterback, Dylan Gabriel. They do have a pretty good young backup, I'm pretty sure. So we'll see how this game turns out. I forgot the guy's name, but I have heard a lot of good things about their backup quarterback for Oklahoma. So I'll have to keep an eye out. But I honestly don't know if he will play. But it should definitely be a very fun game. I'm looking forward to this game, probably more so than any other game. I'm probably more excited for this game than any other New Year's 6 bowl game, outside of the playoffs, of course. But anyways, that's going to do it for the video. Do you think Arizona could beat Oklahoma? Let me know down in the comments below. But make sure you like the video, and if you are new to the channel, consider subscribing. And also make sure notifications are on so you never miss an upload, because we post daily college football videos. And we are getting close to bowl season. So I hope you guys are all excited, because I definitely am. This is also the last ever 14 playoff. And after this year, we are basically heading into a completely new era of college football, with conference realignment and the 12-team playoff starting. So enjoy the season while it lasts, because the season is almost over. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and peace out.